Hello my gorgeous peopleini, my name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and these are your weekly horoscope tarot card readings, and they are in between the 6th and the actual 12th of December 2021. So this weekly horoscope tarot card focus is of course for all 12 signs of zodiacs, and they are indeed going to be individually time-stamped, which means that you can very easily find your sign by scrolling at the bottom of the screen, or you can just simply check within the actual description box, and you can also click on your sign that way. Or if you prefer to watch the whole video, you can just watch basically the whole video. Now I am going to, so these readings are in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. And I'm going to start with my gorgeous Aries, my beautiful Aries, my lordy lord, pretty much so. You need to remember to stand up for what you believe in. Okay, this is very important when it comes to that week. When it comes to this particular week, it's really important for you to remember to stand up for what you believe in, but at the same time to do it very smartly. At the same time, you need to be rather smart and rather clever about the specific problem and the situation that has arisen, in your life, but you are just gonna have to kind of really go around it, about it, in such a particular way where you just need to see basically things for what they are. Most certainly, your eyes are about to be open. This is very important. When I say that you have to stand up for what you believe, it's just pretty much so. This is something to do with yourself, it's to do with your feelings, it's to do with your emotions, it's to do with your intuition, it's to do with your third psychic eye, above all, which means that you're going to come to the actual very important understanding. So you are going to become aware of the certain situation, and that situation in itself is going to open your eyes. So this is going to be really important for you. So it's not so much about oh my god, going to argue, you need to stand up for what you believe in. It just, I don't mean in that particular way. I mean to stand up for what you believe in such a way where you're just nicely and quietly and smartly, you follow your own path by following your own intuition, and anything negative or dark that can actually come from the outside to maybe try to kind of influence you in a certain negative way, this is something that you need to be aware of. This is something that you need to know, because you are the one who is basically living your life, and you are holding your own light, at the same time. So this is something that you need to remember. It's not about standing up for what you believe in such a way where you're arguing or anything like that. No, baby, no. It is to do with yourself. It's kind of a knowing something really important, something so important, but at the same time going around the specific problems and areas in your life in a slightly different way, in a very, very wise way. And this wise way is just going to basically be super important for you, super beneficial for you, and it is all most certainly going to make sense. Do you know what, my gorgeous Aries? It's pretty much so. This is the week when you're going to become aware of the certain justice. This is going to mean to you so much. So pretty much so, it's about the information that you're going to become aware of, and on one hand, it is going to have a little element of surprise, but then on another hand, it's just pretty much so to do with a very kind of significant part of your life that made you feel kind of uncertain, that made you feel a little bit scared, that made your life a little bit uneasy purely because you were waiting for some kind of justice. And this is going to mean to you so much, and specifically when it comes to the last 12 to 13 months, there is going to be very strong correlation with this. So you are going to have an important information, and that information is to do with the justice. And this in itself, it's absolutely brilliant, because at the same time it's about to bring a quite significant balance into your life. And that balance, it's all about the positive energy, all about the optimism, and also becoming aware of that light at the end of the tunnel, but then again, you need to kind of walk through the darkness, when it comes to the certain path, certain time of your life. You need to walk through the darkness a little bit until you reach that moment in time within this tunnel where you can can see there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So you have been through the darkness, so now you're going to become aware of that light at the end of the tunnel. But it's just a pretty much so about a yin-yang situation as well, you know. In every good is a bad, in every bad it's a good, you know. So it's pretty much so about the balance, about your own reflection, about the way you respond to things, and also about like just like kind of like a really paying attention to yourself, paying attention to your feelings, paying attention to your emotions, you know. There is a lot that you're going to become aware of this week. On another hand, my gorgeous Aries, this justice that I'm talking about, it's also going to bring you like you will learn something at the same time. You will learn something very specific, very important through that particular justice. Very big lesson is going to be learned. But at the same time, when you become aware of this justice, you need to understand that, you know, you're gonna hear very important advice. It's not going to be that long after that moment in time. It's just going to come to you just completely out of the blue, certain advice that you're going to become aware of, you know. And that advice may not even be said to you kind of directly, but it's just you're just not going to be able to ignore this. So this is a very, very important advice, because it's going to help you out so much with a certain part of your life that created a blockage when it comes to your future. So this is something really good, but it's rather important as well. On another hand, you know, just be strong and really have trust in yourself, because I know that there is going to be a certain idea that you are going to have, my gorgeous Aries, and that idea it's going to turn into something really big, really important, and you will know what this idea is, because almost instantly it's going to come to you. It's to do it's to do with your life. It's to do with things that you're already doing, that you're already working on, that you're already trying to achieve, but something is missing. And what is missing is going to become evident now. And that by the end of the week, you will know what this is, because it's just going to be keep on coming into your mind. It's an idea, something that you need to bring into your life right now, my gorgeous Aries. It's just rather important when it comes to your, your personal balance, you know. It's about the great determination that you're going to feel at the same time. It's about the initiative and strength that this is going to feel, that this is going to make you feel like as soon as you're thinking about this. So what is this going to be? It's going to be great, a little revelation for you. Personally, this is going to be important, but at the same time, you will know what this is, because as the time goes by, the more you think about this, the more you will realize how much this is missing in your life. But you just need to give a credit to yourself, you know, and step through, because step forward, you know, in your life, because it's going to have the elements of the unknown, but then again, you know, you will know exactly what to do. There's specific things that you're going to have to avoid, and that is also something that you're going to become aware of. But on another hand, you just pay attention to your own determination, because this is going to bring, it's not only about, oh yes, certain part is missing. No, baby, no. This is going to bring you success. This is going to bring you success in particular when it comes to things that you have been working on in your life, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your future planning, when it comes to your feeling secure. So this is really important indeed, but also it's the deep emotional feeling that it's going to be completely undeniable, because by the end of this week you are going to find yourself on an important spiritual quest where you will just simply like, oh, I want more out of life. And you know what? Exactly that. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Pay attention to these feelings, emotions, pay attention to your dreams, you know, and also, you know, pay attention to what is the very first thing on your mind throughout every single week, you know, every single time in the morning. As soon as you wake up, you know, you're still part of like two different dimensions, you know, few different dimensions when we wake up, you see. So that's why we benefit from other worlds as well. So lots of wise things are going to come to you every single morning, specifically in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be having a reading for is going to be my gorgeous Taurus, my gorgeous Taurinis. This is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. My lordy lord, do you know something that was on your mind for the last 3 months? Something that was really like maybe making you feel a bit negative, something that was really bringing you down, something that made you feel like a kind of so disorientated over the last 3 months in particular. It made you feel so disorientated, in specifically when it comes to like sorry specifically when it comes to the actual things that you want to do, when it comes to your future, you know, this put you like did put you in like a little bit of disorientated mode, you know. So it's the problem that you had for the last 3 months. You know, this it's going to be so interesting what is actually going to take place, because suddenly something is going to come to you. An important realization, my gorgeous Taurinis. This is very, very powerful time when it comes to you, because that realization, it's also at the same time going to basically increase your energy almost immediately in such a way where, you know, it's going to be almost undeniable, like certain things that you will become aware of. Maybe they will be very strange and very unusual and very bizarre, but at the same time, it's all about this important confirmation, because it's something that you've already are aware, something that you've already been aware. But then again, it's all about, you know, having that very important final confirmation that you're gonna have here, my gorgeous Taurinis, you know. And at the same time, I have to say that this is in particular going to be very powerful week when it comes to your psychic week. You know, there is a lot that you will understand, there is a lot that you will feel, there is a lot that you will be aware of, and not necessarily like, oh my god, for the first time you're aware of. No baby, no. But now, because of this confirmation, things are gonna feel like so much heavier. But this in itself is gonna be superb for you, really brilliant, because as I said, something is certainly going to come, most certainly going to come to you, an important realization from very, very deep within. Okay, you are most certainly going to be rather spiritually penetrated, which on another hand, it's going to open your eyes towards certain opportunities. But then at the same time, you know, the certain opportunities that you're going to become aware of, you will know that it's all going to lead towards a certain adjustment, because by the time you get to the actual end of this week, it's about the adjustment that you're going to become aware of, because you are going to have this magical possibility and ability to see your life from a completely different angle, upside down. But it's not just about like seeing your life upside down, it's just seeing basically a completely different picture. And now that picture is going to motivate you, which means that there is very, very important motivation coming through. And this motivation is also going to play like a big mama role in many different ways when it comes to you knowing exactly which part of your life came to an end. It's about the adjustment, readjustment. You know, something came to an end and you need to cut that out of your life. The earlier you cut this out of your life, you know, the more opportunities you're soon going to have, the more you're going to move on with your life. This is important because at the same time, by the time you get to the last part of this week, it's the last couple of days this week, it's all about your own, literally, you're going to feel a rebirth. You're going to feel re-energized, you know. So all these feelings and energies are going to be super beneficial when it comes to your personal vibration. So this is also going to be is going to help you out so much when it comes to making like a really big and important step in your life. Do you know, my gorgeous Taurinis, this is like more important this week. It's actually going to be more important than you can possibly imagine, because at the same time, you know, you felt like so far like your hands were like tied behind your back, and also that made you kind of, it was draining your energy quite a lot. But also on another hand, it was affecting your way of thinking, it was affecting your way of planning, and it was affecting your personal balance. So this is absolutely normal. So it's only going to change, and it's going to help us to kind of to know what to do with the next step of our lives, only when we become aware that this certain specific situation came to an end. But at the same time, you have to really give credit to yourself. It is so important to give a credit to yourself, my gorgeous Taurinis, now more than ever. And you know, because you feeling like a frequently restrained, you know, this is something that also is just basically gonna be kind of like on another hand, it's gonna even increase even more your own devotion. So pay attention to what you feel devoted to, because by the time you know, like by the time you get to the last part of this week, again, last 3 days are gonna play an important role when it comes to you being devoted to the specific part of your life. The energy is gonna be very tricky in many different ways, because it's gonna seem like, oh, nothing is gonna happen, or it's gonna seem like very low and very dark and very slow. But at the same time, this thickness of this particular energy you can use in your favor. Lots of people don't understand this. It's all about our own manipulation of the particular specific energy and making the most of it. So that thickness that makes us feel really low and dark, we just flip-flop. We do nice spiritual flip-flop, and we use this energy in our favor. So it's also going to be very important that if you feel like a low or down or negative or weird, you know, throughout this week, you need to understand that at the same time, that same energy is going to be super beneficial when it comes to you putting more towards the specific part of your life. You know, it's going to be absolutely evident, you know, that you need to offer more services and energies, you know, towards the specific goal. This is very important, because that in itself is going to get back to you 100 times. So please just see what you know, specific goals, you know, what parts of your life you want to work on. You know, this is a brilliant week to actually do this. And also the vibration is going to be superb, because now we are in the last months of the year, so it's just creating this rather wonderful energy shift, which just helps us to kind of like to deal with our own energy and make the most of things that we focus on. So this is something I need you to understand, because it's going to bring you success as well. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious Gemini. My gorgeous Geminini, my lordy lord, you know, it's about the opportunity that is going to come completely out of the blue. It's going to surprise you. It's going to come out of the blue. It's like, oh my God, it's almost at the same time, as soon as you become aware of this opportunity, you're just going to start like kind of weighing on other things in your life. You will kind of want almost immediately, it's going to be like a gorgeous spiritual domino, you know, but in the best possible way. Gorgeous, powerful spiritual domino. So when you become aware of this opportunity, you will know, my God, every single part of your life is going to be affected in the best possible way. So that energy is going to be completely undeniable. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. But at the same time, there's so much inspiration that you will have. There's so much idea that you're going to have. Something is going to make you feel so strong and so powerful and so good and so proud of yourself as well, because it's also to do with like an important achievement of your life, becoming a kind of getting on the certain stage sorry, which is also going to make you feel so much better about yourself. So it's pretty much so to do with your own accomplishment, but also you just sorry you have to remember to basically give a credit to yourself, you know, like for the things that you do. Now this is the time when the vibration is really strange and very sensitive, and the vibration has got a very kind of like an unusual impact on every single one of us, and this is why it's superb. It will be perfect just to pretty much so give credit to yourself, because when you give a credit to yourself and things that you have done and achieved so far in your life, you're instantly protecting yourself by increasing your personal vibration. So this is something I need you to remember. But on another hand, yes, so it's about this opportunity that you are going to have, and almost instantly, you know, it's just going to give you so many ideas. It's going to inspire you. It's going to make you feel so good about yourself. It's going to remind you how your life used to kind of be as well, like with the specific parts of your life that made you feel so happy. There is so much that it's going to be through this. So it's about this opportunity. But you can only do this, you can only kind of like flow forward with this opportunity if you just basically understand that, you know, sometimes things are not what they seem to be, and sometimes, you know, things just don't make sense around us. But then at the same time, you must not let that take the better of you, because then, you know, like some kind of like a darkish forces are going to take over. So it's not good. So this is why you just keep going and keep floating and keep going, my gorgeous Geminini. On another hand, What else I was going to say? Do you know what? This is really great week, you know. And there is also an omen that you are going to have, like a sign, like a specific sign that you are going to have. Very important omen. And that omen, it's also going to appear at around the time you become aware of the number 777, 111, 333, 222, and even 444. Any combination of these numbers that are repeating individually, this is going to be a sign that you're going to have your own omen. And you may miss this. It doesn't really matter, but this is just an extra sign. For what? Well, it is basically, it's your reward for being really clever, your reward for being really smart, your reward for being really intelligent. Not that long ago you made a certain decision, you chose a certain option, and that decision now it's going to bounce back, and it's karmically going to be connected to what is actually going to take place this week. It's about an opportunity, mind-blowing opportunity. This is what, you know, the festival I said to you, you're going to have this opportunity, but now there are other things, but by the time you get to, so first of all, you're going to become aware of that opportunity that is immediately going to give you ideas, but by the time you get to the end of the week, this is what these numbers are going to remind you of, that there is a very important situation going to come up, and this time it's going to be the second stage of this opportunity. It's like some kind of bright prospects are going to become absolutely evident, and you're not going to be able to ignore this whatsoever. So it is the omen that you are going to have when you're going to become aware of the unlimited opportunity, like a very bright prospects about your life. And as I said, first of all, you're going to see this like wonderful combination of numbers that I've already mentioned. By the same time, these numbers are going to make you aware that very soon, through synchronicity, through the power of synchronicity, it's going to make you aware that very, very soon there is this moment coming where you're going to become aware of these bright prospects in your life. So you must not ignore this, but at the same time you just have to stand up for yourself. You stand up for what you believe in a way how you kind of reflect on things, how you do things, not to argue or like put your point across, blah blah blah. No, baby, no. It's just you flow nicely, gently and quietly towards your own personal target. So this is something that I need you to remember. So it's about the bright prospects that you're going to become aware of when it comes to that opportunity. So it's pretty much so about you moving on to the next stage in your life. And that omen that I say that you're gonna have, it's pretty much so gonna come in a form of like a little animal as well. And that's the omen. That's an important time for you to understand. When you see that omen, it could be like a little bird this week, it could be like a little animal, it could be like a little cat, you know. It's to do with a little animal or a big animal. It doesn't have to be little, but it's to do with a big animal. It's to do with an animal in general. But you will know that this is the part of your dimension, because it's the way that this animal is going to look at you. You will just feel this energy, and this when you see this sign, you will know. On one hand, when you see this omen, you know it's about a confirmation about these bright prospects in your life. But at the same time, it's about a hope. So you also need to focus on what were you thinking about the time, what was bringing you down, what was making you feel really negative and uncertain, and you will know that this is your hope. Even if you don't see this omen, even if you don't see this animal, it doesn't really matter. It's more about the actual you coming to terms with a certain problem in your life, and like in a way how to kind of go around, how to go over. And omen, if you see it, if you become aware of, you know, this is just an extra bonus. But the bottom line is that it's all about the power of your own synchronicity, and it's all about you responding to the way you feel when it comes to the next step of your life. So you must not kind of slow yourself down. You just keep going and keep floating, my gorgeous Gemini, no matter what. And this is also a fantastic week when it comes to inspiration, when it comes to feeling good, when it comes to optimism, when it comes to you feeling rather woomish, you know. And this is absolutely fantastic. Try to connect and reconnect to people this week as much as you possibly can. And also there is a very, very, very important information that you will get from somebody who is very sacred in your life, somebody who is very important to you, somebody who you really look up to, somebody who you really understand and very deep and like kind of like a very spiritual levels. There is a very important message, personal message you're going to have, and this is gonna mean to you so much, because on one hand it's gonna answer like a lot of questions that were weird, but then on another hand and you will know what to do. Okay, this is going to be like a pretty much like a game changer for you. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Cancer, my gorgeous Cancerini. Now, basically, it's just about you, my lordy lord. It looks like you're going to find out something, you know. I like this. You're going to find out a very important information. And the information that you're going to find out is just pretty much so going to be like a very much so it's going to at the same time become like a strong turning point for you. Because it looks like you have put like the certain part of your life on hold, you know. You have been affected by the specific vibration and the specific energy that hasn't got anything to do with you, but this is nothing unusual because there is a lot going on at the moment. So people are affected on so many different ways, and I'm keep on saying this because you're very kind of deep, you're very spiritual, you're very powerful. You can reflect on your life through your own feelings and emotion in a very unique way, but then at the same time you sometimes tend to like maybe keep the certain things in and maybe not to come out with certain things as much as you could. Also, this week you're going to learn as well, very important lesson, what to come out with and what to not come out with, what to say and what not to say. I'm not saying that you don't know normally what to say, what not to say, you know, like all like ranting. No, baby, no, you will know exactly what I mean. It's about being smart, it's about being clever, but it's also about you living your life in the way that you want to live your life. This is very important because the reason I say this, it looks like you were affected, and this is why I'm saying this, that this specific information, it's going to be like a big mama for you, because that in itself is going to open up an important door for you. So you will go through an important portal this week, and that portal is only gonna change your life in the best possible way. So what is actually going to happen? So first of all is this very, very important information, and that in itself is just going to make you feel like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of move on with your life, I'm just gonna start like carry on. So it's gonna bring some important continuation. But this time it's going to be different, because you will know that this important continuation is entirely down to you. Nobody else, but it's entirely down to you. But because the energy and vibration is going to be absolutely superb, and everything that happened prior to this moment, everything that happened so far is going to bring this wonderful unfoldment, you know. It's just about you basically just carrying on with an absolutely important part of your life. It's something that you're very good about, it's something that you're very unique about, it's something very specific that at the same time you will want to take on the next level. This is important because every single one of us on this earth is like incredible when it comes to something rather specific. It's incredible when it comes to the certain part, every single one of us is incredible for something. I don't care what people are gonna say, because sometimes people can be so negative. Oh no, it's not true, I'm not good for anything. No, baby, no, you are good, you know, for something very specific. And the reason why I say this, because it's to do with things that you like doing, it's to do with things that you should be doing, that you must do in order to make your life happier. As I said, the very negative stage is coming to an end, but you will also realize that it's down to you how you're going to go about by making the next step in your life. And it's down to you to not to kind of like to stay strong and solid, my babies, and not to let your energy to be kind of tempered with in such a way. Energy can be tempered with in this particular way because you're very sensitive. So when it comes to understanding things, feeling things, being able to project, because the power of projection is your personal projection is ridiculously strong when it comes to the manifestation, you know. So when it comes to you trying to achieve things, you do them like this, like there is no tomorrow, like a big mama. But also at the same time, that particular energy can make you feel more sensitive when it comes to lots of things that are very kind of darkish, but then at the same time, you know that there's something may not be right, you know, but then at the same time, it's like basically you just need to give credit to yourself. You just like, if something doesn't make sense, obviously you just like kind of move on from that situation. So it's all about you realizing this very specific part of your life that makes you feel so unique, that makes you feel so good, that makes you feel so precious. You know, this is very precious to you. So what this is, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's important because it's most certainly going to become a very relevant part of your life, and it's just going to help you to recognize something so specific, to recognize the certain path, that it's only going to highlight your own capability, highlight your own uniqueness, but also later on, my babies, this is going to bring you like an ultimate change. It's going to bring you strength. It's going to bring you like a control over so many parts of your life that I'm not saying that you've lost, but it's just kind of like it was like kind of you know, no really, you know, like it was very kind of uneven, you know, if I can even describe it like that. But it's all about the strength that you're going to have through this. It's all about having a control over your life, yet again having this powerful energy, having this initiative, you know, like wanting to go on the next step. This is a very important time of your life, because this later on, it's going to give you strength, it's going to bring you that balance, and it's going to make you feel so good about yourself, and you will want to express yourself, you know. You will kind of like start having and feeling this very kind of like a precious energy that you didn't feel in a long time. So this is going to be very important, but also at the same time, you know, just remember that this is going to bring you success, and at the same time the right people in your life are going to admire you as well for kind of like going down this particular path, going down this particular road. So you just need to see what part of your life, what part of yourself do you need to take on the next level, my gorgeous Cancerini. It's important, more important than ever. Okay, so now, you know, the more you do this, my gorgeous Cancerini, sorry, just one more thing, the more you do this, the more strong you will feel, the more you follow the path that you should be following, your own personal path, the more power you're going to have, because there is the greatest power that is going to come out of it as well. The communication, it's important. You opening up yourself, it's important. You talking, it's important. You expressing yourself the way you want to express yourself, it's important. Just remember that. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Leo, my gorgeous Leone. So this is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. So basically it's just like you are gonna make a very important decision this week, and the decision that you are going to make, a Leo, it's going to happen after the first couple of days this week. So this week is starting on the 6th of December and it's going to end on the 12th of December. The decision that you're going to make, it's going to be pretty much so in between the 6th and the 7th of December. So even if you see this reading like later on towards the end of the week, it doesn't really matter, because you know your week is going to pretty much so unfold in a very specific and particular way after this moment in time. It is just something that you have been keep on putting behind, leaving behind. This decision, it's very important for you, but it's also at the same time not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to make this decision and go forward, blah blah blah, with this specific part of my life. This is to do with your future planning. This is to do with something that you really wanted to do in such a long time, but then because of the circumstances and lots of other things, devilish forces took over, I guess, things that haven't got anything to do with your particular life, with you in particular, but it's just the vibration and energy. It's rather like a Twilight Zone-ish, rather bizarre-ish at the moment, if I can say it like that. But then at the same time, by you kind of like maybe cancelling your plans, or you kind of like putting your head down and just slowing down on your own path, it's absolutely big no-no at the moment. So this is important. This information that you're gonna have, it's gonna open your eyes, but it's also gonna make you realize that you are the one who can, you know, make this really important decision. And this is to do with your future. It's to do with your future planning, and it's to do with a specific part of your life that you've kind of put on hold. Now, the more you kind of wait, like the more messy things are going to become. The more you wait, the more complex situation in the future it's going to be. And let me just stress this again, that this is to do with an important plan that you had from before, an important plan that you had earlier. This is going to be really big, and it's going to literally change your life. But this plan was just kind of slowed down within this energy, with this within this kind of vibration, and that just kind of disorientated you a little bit, because you have found yourself living your life and doing things, but you're not doing exactly what you want to do. You're not on the path exactly where you want to be. So something is missing, and what is missing is going to become absolutely highlighted on the first and the second day in this particular week. So it's pretty much so someone else who is very important to you, it's also going to have such a really big role. Somebody who's very close to you, somebody who's very important to you, like a family member, or best friend maybe, or like a partner, somebody who's very important to you, it's also going to be playing an important role, because out of the blue that person is going to say something, and that is going to affect you in the best possible way, but it's going to bring an element of surprise, and that in itself is going to get you going, and it's going to inspire you. And yet again, these feelings and these emotions are going to be undeniable. It's the specific part of your life that you need to focus on, and you need to carry on kind of making that, manifesting that specific part of your life. So this is really, really important. As I said, it's to do with the plan that you've left behind, and it's to do with the future planning. It's to do with doing something really big later on. My lordy lord, really big, So you just need to find out and work out how you can kind of go about the things that have been slowing you down, and make the most of this particular spiritual path as possible. Because the more you focus on it, the more plans are going to come. The more you focus on it, the more inspiring you're going to be. The more you focus on it throughout this week, the more answers you're actually going to have. This is to do with your future, but it's also to do with a certain plan, and really important, powerful, big mama plan that you're actually going to have. So it's this absolutely mind-blowing decision, you who are going to really want to carry on with a specific part of your life no matter what. And that's exactly what I need you to remember. It's important, because by the time you come to the actual August and September 2022, now these 2 months are going to be a big mama months, because you will see how much your life have changed on these 2 particular months. Next year you will see exactly the strong correlation with everything that is happening right now, with the decision that you were making, and also at the same time you will really avoid a negative situation in your life by doing only those things that are actually making sense to you only. On another hand, let me just tell you, my gorgeous Leonis, what else is important this week. I know that this is going to sound, oh God, but listen, it's so important to reconnect and connect with the nature. Nature. You're going to find nature more powerful at the moment than ever. So I know it's not easy to do this, but if you possibly can go to reconnect with the nature somehow, go somewhere in the forest or somewhere within the forest, go for a little walk, like about an hour, will do you the world of good. My God, it's something that your spirit will need, something that your soul will need. If you can stand by the water somewhere, stand by the river, stand by the sea if you can, or just simply go inside the forest, my gorgeous Leonis. I know this sounds crazy, but trust me, I'm not that crazy. No, honestly, it's important. You just touch the ground with your hands and try to find a ground where people don't really walk. Try to find a ground somewhere like a wildish, somewhere in the forest, and just touch the ground. Ooh, take a deep breath and just rejuvenate yourself, my gorgeous Leonis. And it's not even about that. This is going to do so much to you. It's going to take the very big amount of lots of negativity that you have picked up through over the last about 12 months, but at the same time, it's going to increase your vibration, and then at that moment in time something is going to come to you. There's some kind of idea, some kind of realization, maybe straight away, or it may be when you come back home. It really depends, but most certainly this is going to be so important, because something that is missing in your life, it's going to become evident And that in itself, it's going to increase your bravery. That in itself, it's going to highlight your own capacity, and it's going to reflect on your strength, but also it's just going to make you like, yeah, confirmation. It's very important indeed. On another hand, my gorgeous Leonis, you're also going to have a bit of a tower moment this week. I'm sorry, my babies, but there is a little tower moment that you're going to have, and at the same time, the tower moment that you're going to have, it's actually going to work out for you really well, because the certain masks are going to fall, and there's some kind of people that are going to be it's going to be obvious what they are, who they are, what they are. Yeah, some dishonesty, it's going to become absolutely obvious, so it's going to kind of surprise you a little bit. But then again, with things that you have been through, things that you know, things that you're aware of, it's not going to surprise you, and it's actually going to work really brilliantly for you. And sometimes people tell me, Mo, you can't have a tower, and it's not good. No, not at all. Absolutely not at all. It's not true, because in this particular case, you're actually going to be able to see the specific person or specific people, group of people, for what they are, and it's going to help you to redirect yourself slightly. Some of you are going to have confirmation, and some of you are going to have a very strong redirection. That it's really important when it comes to your personal rebirth. This is important. So pretty much, so give credit to yourself. If something doesn't make sense, my gorgeous Leonis, you say bye. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to say. Important. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious Virgo. My gorgeous Virgolini, where are you? Oh, there you are. So my gorgeous Virgolini, this is for the period and the stage in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. You really going to start feeling the very powerful vibration again. And I'm saying again, you're really going to be surprised, because in particular when it comes to this week, from the beginning of this week, you're going to feel inspired, you're going to feel re-energized. Your intuition will be very strong, but at the same time, the level of optimism you will have, you will not be able to explain where this is coming from. You will not be able to understand where this is coming from. But then at the same time, my gorgeous Virgolinis, I need you to understand that this is an absolutely crucial time to really make an important plan, because you have been keep on leaving something behind. You have been keep on ignoring something when it comes to your life, and when it comes to things that you want to do later on. This is also rather important. This stage and the period is so significant, because the reason why I started this reading with this powerful vibration of inspiration and optimism that you're going to have, this is all going to lead towards an important hope, okay? And hope, it's almost immediately going to bring you healing, and that vibration is going to be absolutely undeniable and impossible to ignore. So the mixtures of these energies are going to be very much so incredible when it comes to you having a strength over your life, when it comes to you feeling the courage and balance that you didn't feel in a long time, but also you realizing that there is an important plan that you need to start taking into action. Not this week, but now there are lots of things that are going to be highlighted throughout this week that you're going to need to take into consideration before you go on to the next stage in your life. What you're going to see this week is going to be important. What you're going to become aware of this week is going to be important. Certain things that you're going to find out are most certainly going to make you aware that you are reaching a very significant stage of your life, and the timing is absolutely critical. The timing is absolutely important, and I'm saying this not because I want to be like a dark lala. No, baby, no. But the timing is critical, and the timing is important because there is so much that is going to come to you this week. There are lots of ideas. There are lots of situations that you're going to become aware of. Nothing that you kind of weren't completely aware of before. before, but you're just gonna have this power, this ability to see things from a completely different angle, almost like a feeling things and getting things through like a different eyes. But this is going to be so important because you will be able to kind of like have a certain confirmations, you know, that are just going to really be super beneficial for you, in particular when it comes to you making this really powerful decision. And the decision that you're going to make, my gorgeous Virgolini, this week is pretty much so going to need from you, in order to go through this, to actually resolve the couple of problems and couple of issues you need to resolve. And my answer to this is two important problems, two important issues karmically you need to really resolve. And my gorgeous Virgolinis, this is pretty much so to do maybe you, one issue is going to be you need to really kind of go back in time just a little bit and see which part of your life just created a little problem. You know, maybe you had a little disagreement with someone, you had like maybe like a little argument with someone like not that long ago, and that argument and disagreement made things even more to kind of be kind of stuck for you. So you just need to find a way in order to kind of negotiate something with someone. It's about an important negotiation, and your job is also to try to iron things out a little bit. So if there was an argument or disagreement, just try to turn the page over, just try to change the different page, you know, just in such a way. Your job is to not to kind of like be negative, or not to come out in an anxious way, to not to kind of argue, just to make everything as great and everything as perfect in between you and somebody else. So it's a negotiation, some kind of negotiation that you're gonna need to have, but at the same time you need to be friends. I really hope that makes sense, you know, because this is gonna be really important. But also on another hand, when it comes to that negotiation and when it comes to everything that I already said so far, what you need to remember is to not to let people to basically take peace out of you. Sorry, you must not let people take peace out of you in such a way, because I do see a little bit of a darkness, like a little bit of a devilish feeling and energy about that person, because I do see and I do think that they're trying to take an advantage of you. So it's just finding this line in between of putting your foot down and doing what you want, saying what you want, acting in the way that you want, but without like kind of like making any kind of like a negative babble, or making like argument or anything like that. So this should be something that you should really do, and something that you should really focus on. You know, on one hand, put your foot down, but then on another hand, without any aggression or anything like that. And then also at the same time, you just need to remember to basically stay true to yourself, and to not to let anyone to take an advantage of you. So you just need to kind of understand that I think that person is also like kind of connected to maybe to the specific part of your life that is just trying to basically kind of like take an advantage of you as well. So I think that you're aware of it, and if you are not, most certainly you're going to become aware of it now. So your job is karmically very important to go over, to put your foot down, but also at the same time to just stay true to yourself, and at the same time to not, you know, like stay friendly, like everything to do in the most possible friendly way. You know, this is really important. On another hand, what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Virgolini, is what else you're gonna basically, you know, what else is going to be quite important here when it comes to this week. It's also basically the fact that you just need to remember that this week it's going to be super life-changing when it comes to your plan, when it comes to going on the next stage, when it comes to the new portal opening, when it comes to you finally kind of like dealing with a very specific situation in your life. And this in itself is going to be connected to the actual justice. what is going to be like a pretty much so like what is going to create a really turning point for you is the moment of justice. Not that you will kind of like feel your personal justice, but something is going to like maybe make you a little bit angry, and it's also going to kind of make you feel like the certain justice hasn't been served. But it's nothing to do with you personally, you see, but it's to do with like a really great, really huge, massive picture out there. But that in itself, it's almost going to be like a little drop, you know, the last drop that is going to make the whole glass overflowing type of thing, because that justice is not going to make sense to you. Almost like you're going to feel like someone needs a justice. Like someone needs some kind of justice, you know, in the best possible way, like to be dealt with, like justice, blah blah blah. Justice hasn't been served, and that in itself is going to be absolutely obvious to you, and this is going to play an important, crucial, huge, big mama point when it comes to you, because it's going to help you to open up yourself and to come out of yourself, because you will realize that certain things absolutely don't make sense, and in order to deal with things that don't make sense, that they have got nothing to do with your life in particular, you just have to avoid them and ignore them as much as you can and live your life. And this is why this plights all these feelings and emotions that are going to be like, you know what, I'm just going that way instead of that way, you know. It's going to make your path pretty much so, it's going to remind you of who you are. It's going to remind something very special about your uniqueness, because that uniqueness is going to be highlighted, and it's going to almost immediately inspire you, you know, to put even more energy towards something very specific, towards the certain path in your life. So therefore, by the time you get to the actual last part of this week, my gorgeous Virgolinis, it's all about you feeling very enthusiastic. You know, it's all about you feeling very kind of inspired. It's about you thinking and focusing on this new initiative in your life. And sometimes, you know, you just have to, I said this millions of times, swim against the current, because sometimes only dead fish swims with the current, you know. So this is what I need you to remember. So it's important that sometimes you just simply need to swim against the currents if things don't make sense for you, because you're very smart, you're very clever, you can feel things from a completely different angle. So this is what I want to say to you, that by the time you get to the actual last part of this week, it's also, you will find yourself like pretty much so you will want to explore the certain part of your life. You will want to dig a little bit deeper. It's about exploring. It's about digging a little bit deeper. It's about wanting to know more. It's about wanting to find out more. This is exactly what in itself is going to be so important, because it's at the same time going to make you feel really enthusiastic, but also it's just going to kind of like almost like a little mini personal adventure that you are going to have, because there are going to be so many bits and pieces that you will go through when it comes to emotions and feelings, and your own personal vibration is going to be increased, and this is all going to be playing an important role. But the bottom line is, very important opportunity is actually going to come up at around the end of the week, you know, and that the possibility that you weren't aware of are going to become absolutely highlighted, and the more you give a credit to yourself, the more you will know what to do. So this week is incredible when it comes to planning, when it comes to thinking about the next step, but at the same time, you know, it's just about this possibility that are absolutely going to be impossible to ignore. These unlimited possibilities are going to make you aware that you should be going, you know, through something. You should follow your life. You should only do things that make sense, but also you need to give a credit to yourself when the credit is due. This is very important, and it's going to inspire you, and it's going to make you feel like you haven't felt in a long time, my gorgeous Virgolinis. So this is why this is going to be so important, an important stage, an important step of your life, you know, and somebody who is very close to you, somebody who is so important to you, and somebody who means to you so much, like a family member, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, somebody who means to you so much, they will point something out when it comes to you, and you must not ignore it, okay? So somebody who is very close to you, somebody who is very important to you, somebody who is very significant to you, is going to pinpoint something out about you that you're not going to like, but you shouldn't be ignoring it, because there is a very important realization that you're going to have through that. Your third psychic eye is almost immediately going to open up very strongly, very brightly, and there is something very specific that you're going to need to be dealt with. So this specific person is just going to play an important role when it comes to having like a real and important people in our life who are so close to us, they know us sometimes more than we know ourselves. So this is the specific situation that I'm saying, because that person will be pointing something out to you. And also, my gorgeous Virgolini, just pay attention to your body, pay attention to what your body is telling you, because there will be a very strong correlation with your body, mind and spirit. So your body is going to be communicating you. So just pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you, like which part of your body do you need to pay attention to. For example, if your stomach is a little bit hurting, then pay attention to your stomach and things like that, because you're gonna have this very powerful vibration around you when it comes to your own wiseness. There is a lot that is gonna come to you. So it is very much so, very sharply, things are gonna come to you with a very kind of high level of understanding. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libra, my gorgeous Liberina. I love you all so much. So this reading is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. This is really important for you to remember. What you need to remember that, in order to carry on with your life, in order to move on with your life, in order to go on the next step in your life, you really need to realize that there is this very specific part of your life. It's coming to an end. It came to an end. And it's almost like stealing your energy. It's almost like a tempering with your vibration. It's almost like not making life magical for you anymore until you realize this. And yes, my gorgeous Libra, this is pretty much so to do with your personal power. This is pretty much so to do with a very high and powerful level of your spiritual existence. Your spiritual existence is going to be highlighted, and it's going to be driving you forward as long as you give a credit to yourself. Do not ignore things that are ludicrous. Do not ignore things that are crazy. Do not ignore things that are dark, because there is so much of the darkness maybe going on at the moment. The dark forces are out there. There is so much darkness going on at the moment, and people are just get like a little bit hypnotized into certain things, into certain situations, into a certain way of thinking, into a certain way of being. So this is why I just need to kind of remind you that you're Libra, you're very powerful, and you're all about the balance. If your balance is just a little bit like kind of tempered with and something is not right, it's going to affect absolutely everything that's going on in your life. So this is something I need you to remember, okay? First of all, my gorgeous Libra, stay true to yourself, okay? Stay on your path. Stay on your path. Do not go off. Okay, so you need to, this week, you just need to pay attention to what parts of your life do you need to put more projection towards, more energy towards, because suddenly there is going to be like a really kind of like a good energy, very inspiring energy that you are going to feel from the beginning of this week, and it's going to surprise you. You will not be able to tell where this energy is coming from, but then every single time when you think about it, every single time when you're like kind of energetic, you're just going to be keep on drifting towards a certain part of your life. It's just going to, in your mind, in your feelings, in your emotions, you're just going to be drifting towards the specific part of your life. This is your energy speaking. This is your energy talking. This is your energy communicating to you, my gorgeous Libra, okay? And this is important, because when we reach like a very high level of our personal vibration, especially after the time of darkness, sadness, loneliness, uncertainty, blah, 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 and things like that, it takes a lot of energy out. So when we have a flip-flop moment like that, when we energizes us, then we see things through different light, through different eyes, and then we just get this energy, and we just need to make the most of it, because every single time when you feel inspired and re-energized throughout this week, you just need to pay attention to, you're always going to be drifting towards a certain point. You're always going to be drifting towards the certain part of your life that is going to require almost you going on a very kind of spiritual journey, unique journey. You're going to find yourself on a spiritual quest, which is going to require from you to advance your life. So it's going to kind of like create a certain, three complex situations right in front of you when it comes to your future, because you will want more. You will find yourself on a spiritual quest, but at the same time, 1, 2, 3 things that are going to be in front of you, 2 are going to be fine, but 1 is just not going to make sense. So you just need to work out how to make a way around this one thing that doesn't make sense, dark forces, and things like that. So that's the one that doesn't make sense. So this is the one that you're gonna you will kind of go around and work out which other ways you can get where you want to get, by avoiding this doesn't make sense, here. So this is what I want you to remember. my gorgeous Libra, but it's pretty much so to do with your advancement, is to do with your own personal departure. It's you going on the next stage of your life, you know, and also you making the certain alteration when it comes to your life by being brave when it comes to the unknown, but also giving a credit to yourself, in particular when it comes to the actual alteration and not knowing, you know, unknown, you just follow your intuition, and that's exactly what you should be doing, because what is going to happen, my gorgeous Libra, it's about you realizing also that a specific part of your life came to an end. It's about the discontinuation, and you also need to understand that's to do with a specific part of your life, and also is to do with maybe letting the negativity and fear and uncertainty take the better of you. Okay, because as I said, you're a little Libra, and you're just, if the balance is a little bit affected, it's just going to make you like, oh my God, it's like a droplet feeling, you know, vibration. One little droplet changes the whole thing, changes the whole vibration. And this is why this is so important, because it's almost like kind of made you feel like you're not yourself when it comes to like a manifesting, when it comes to doing things, when it comes to expressing yourself, you know. So it's important to ignore something very negative. On one hand, your certain part of your life is coming to an end, so you just kind of cut it out. It's about this continuation. But on another hand, you also need to understand, just as important, is to change your way of thinking, to not to bring yourself down, to not to think negative, to not to block yourself from moving on with your life, because it doesn't make sense to block yourself, because you're going to be disorientated, and that's not good for anyone. So this is the time when you really need to pay attention to yourself and do things for yourself and live your life in your own unique way. And if someone has got a problem with this, then, you know, so be it. So this is why this is so important. This in itself affected your way of planning, affected your way of your own personal magics, which is about to return now. So this is absolutely brilliant, you know, and that in itself, it's very important. I do think that you're actually also going to impress somebody, really, my lordy lord. You're going to impress someone like there is no tomorrow. So this is an absolutely a fantastic week, you know, to actually come out of yourself, to maybe inspect certain things in your life, to try to explore as much as you can, inspect as much as you can, do whatever you need to do in order to bring something additional into your life. When it comes to the next step, when it comes to promotion, when it comes to looking for a job, you know, you may not have a job, you want to apply for the job, and the job may not come this week, but this week it's going to play an important role. Maybe it's going to come week after. You see, it's really important to kind of temper with this energy in the best possible way, because you will be shining, you will be very, very bright. So when you're so bright and when you're shining like this to this extent, then you can get and you can achieve so much, you know, by projecting this absolutely wonderful energy. So it's a brilliant for negotiation, for signing things, for starting things, for trying things, for testing the water a little bit. You know, this is something that I would highly, highly, highly recommend you, my gorgeous Libra, indeed. But on another hand, there is a very, very important conversation that you will have with someone this week. Very, very important conversation, very successful conversation that is going to happen just out of the blue, and it's really going to surprise you. It's going to happen at the moment in time when you didn't even think that you're going to have a conversation, but then there is a lot that is going to come out. There is a lot that is going to be said, and this conversation, it's almost going to like kind of change your life, because it's going to help you out with yourself, with your own dark feelings and emotions and negativity that you've had so far, and it's going to make you feel like, oh yeah, there are other people who think like me, type of thing. So this is going to mean to you so much. So it's very important week when it comes to impressing yourself, expressing yourself, doing things that you want to do, but also like kind of like a talking to people in your life, reconnecting and connecting with people in your life. It's also going to be really important, because through reconnecting and connecting with people in your life, my gorgeous Libra, this week there is so much that you're actually going to find out about yourself. So this is why this is so important. Okay, so now one more thing, Libra. Sorry, one more thing. It's your personal vibration is going to be like a big mama this week, which means that, you know, if you want to like meet someone and things like that, this week is absolutely brilliant, you know. So something like that. If you want to meet someone, if you want to kind of like maybe reconnect with people, but especially when you want to meet someone romantically, this week it's going to be playing an important role as well. If you throw yourself into this situation, if you want to meet new people, like when it comes to like a friends and new people in your life, it's not going to happen this week. But again, this week it's going to be playing an important role, because you will do something that is actually going to open up so many pathways for you that were closed so far. So this is important. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Scorpio. My gorgeous Scorpione. This is your reading for the week in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. So it's for you, my gorgeous Scorpione. So now basically, do you know what? It's about I really like this because it's all about you hearing a very, very, very important message. You're going to hear a very important news. After you hear this, so much is going to be clear to you. So much that you didn't understand, it's going to become obvious. And it's nothing to do with your personal situation as such, but it's been affecting you, my Lord, it's been affecting you so much. This in itself, it's on one hand going to open your eyes, but on another hand, it's going to make you feel really firm. It's about this absolutely mind-blowing confirmation. Also, certain masks are going to be fallen, and this is going to be brilliant because it's going to inspire you even more. It's going to make you feel even more optimistic, and it's also going to bring you the greatest ever hope with a very specific part of your life that is so important to you, my gorgeous Scorpione. So this is absolutely superb. You need to stay true to yourself, but because you were actually staying true to yourself, okay, this is coming like a spiritual and karmic reward, because it's not only about hearing this message and having a strong confirmation, but it's also knowing what exactly do you want to do about it, because there is the idea that is almost immediately going to come to you, and it's the idea that you were like kind of keeping aside, that you didn't want to go through, that you didn't want to follow through, because lots of different aspects from the outside have been affecting you. And this is something that you need to protect yourself from, because you're very powerful, you're very deep, you understand a lot, but it's also an absolutely crucial time, sacred time, where you only trust yourself. Okay, you only trust yourself, because it's like to do with the darkish spiritual domino. If you don't trust yourself, then the darkish spiritual domino is going to take over, and it's just going to flick like that. So you hear one little thing that absolutely doesn't make sense, the darkish domino, and it just takes off your life in such a way where it just makes the whole vibration very dark. So you just lose yourself on your own path, because you were following and you were paying attention to dark things out there that were affecting you, and they took the better of you. And this is nothing unusual, because you're super psychic, you feel things, you know things, you're very deep, you're like super deep, you see. So this is nothing unusual when it comes to you, my gorgeous Scorpione. This is absolutely nothing unusual, because you can't help with this. This is like a gift, but sometimes it's like, oh my God, you know. So this is nothing unusual, but it's most certainly going to work in your favor, because it is just going to make you feel very, very firmly, and it's going to prove to you how important it is, especially at this moment in time, to do things that make sense to you, do things that make you feel good, do things that make you feel happy, do things that make you feel excited, do things that kind of change your week from week to week basis, or change your days, you know, from day to day basis. Bring things into your life. It's more important to pay attention to your personal vibration right now than absolutely ever. On another hand, what else you're going to become aware of, my gorgeous Scorpione, is just a very important news when it comes to your personal success. And I really like it. It's very important news when it comes to your personal success, but it's also pretty much so to do with your experience, to do with things that you like to do in in your life. It's also, on one hand, it's just going to show you the way, like kind of like what part of your life do you need to invest. This is so important, and it's really big mama when it comes to the whole week, because by the time you get to the end of the week, you know, the specific part of your life is going to be super relevant when it comes to you investing in this specific part of your life. Very important indeed. But you will know that you investing in that specific part of your life now, something is going to be putting you off. Oh, it's not the right time, blah blah blah. No, baby, no, you do things that you want to do when you want to do them. And this is how you increase your vibration. And you increase your vibration to the point where nothing can ever temper with it how it tempered before, purely because you reach this very significant stage of your own karma and a spiritual awareness. And once you do that, you know, it is just not going to kind of like touch you anymore in the way that it touched you before, you know, spiritually. You know, it kind of like it took a lot from you. So it's now you're just coming out and just realizing an important light at the end of the tunnel. But as I said before, you know, we have to walk sometimes we have to walk through the dark tunnel. You know, we have to, because if we don't take that walk through the dark tunnel, we're not going to reach the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, it's a bit of yin yang. Sometimes things are a bit crazy, and I just want you to remind you to keep your balance. And you can only keep your balance by doing things that make you feel happy, by doing things that make you feel excited, by doing things that inspire you. So this is something that you really, through this week, this is something that you should be doing, my gorgeous Scorpioni, more important than ever. But also, on another hand, you know, as I said, there is going to be very much so part of your life that you will want to invest. It's going to be evident, it's going to be obvious, and from the psychic side, psychic point of view, pretty much so this is a rather wise investment. But as I said, something is going to be putting you off, but you need to understand it's about a plan. Okay, you will slowly start changing the way you see things around you in the best possible way, and that is also going to make a huge impact at around the end of the week. So it's about a wise plan, but also how to kind of avoid certain things in order to get where you want to get, because what you're going to know, what you're going to become aware of, it's only going to work really greatly for you. And it's just going to remind you how important it is to actually just do things that make sense to you, and even, you know, to not to leave the specific parts of our lives that are important to us on the side too much for too long when it comes to the future planning. You know, this is all along the side those lines. So it's important. But on another hand, my gorgeous Scorpionis, just remember, it's about the actual this week, you're also going to have a very kind of significant message when it comes to some kind of achievement, and the achievement is going to make you feel really proud of yourself. And when you feel proud of yourself, there also are some other people in your life that mean to you so much, and you mean to them so much, they're also going to be proud of you. So it's about the news, about a certain achievement, and I like this so much, and this is going to make you feel so good. And it's also going to kind of bring a very much so like a very peaceful and harmonious energy into your life, you know, with a great sense of tranquility. But also it's like a basically gonna be pretty much you know, the certain unsatisfied desires are gonna be kind of evident through this. You know, there is a very kind of like a significant situation realization that you're going to have. On another hand, this is an amazing week when it comes to your wheel of fortune, my gorgeous Scorpioni. You are gonna have the situation that is gonna be mind-blowing. It's gonna surprise you at around the midweek. You know, the situation is going to surprise you like there is no tomorrow. Something is going to come out of the blue, something is going to happen out of the blue, something is going to manifest out of the blue, and it's really going to surprise you. But you're going to realize, oh my Lord, thank God, the very negative part of your life is coming to an end. And that in itself, it's also going to bring you an absolutely fantastic, mind-blowing big mama conclusion. Big mama conclusion. It's going to help you to make sense of things that don't make sense. Okay, this is so important, my gorgeous Scorpioni, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Sagittarius, my gorgeous Sagittarini, like my lordy lord. You need to remember this. This reading is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. Well, first of all, is somebody very important to you, somebody very significant to you, somebody is very close to you, is just going to need a little bit of your help. And I'm really kind of like, this is so important because you're very wise. It's to do, you're very clever, you're both spiritual intelligent and intelligent in general, you know. So when you kind of set yourself to do a certain target or something, you just do it really quickly. I said this before, and it's a wonderful, absolutely mind-blowing ability, very special, because you just make people feel really good about themselves. You help with like a people's personal balance quite a lot, so you have got like a healing energy, and it works really quickly, instantly, so it doesn't surprise me. Somebody who's so close to you need to understand it's actually it's being a little bit misled or something. There are like a little bit of dark forces around somebody who's like so close to you, so precious to you, and you need to see which dark forces these are. Somebody's trying to be like a little bit misled, and you don't want this, because I say no. Because that person who means to you so much, it's maybe a little bit sensitive, maybe it's a younger person, maybe it's a person with not enough experience, but also above all, maybe that person is quite sensitive at the moment, so they don't see things for what they are. And this is that negative energy that I'm talking about, and it's rather devilish because it takes over, and it just kind of like really manipulates you in such a way where you're not yourself, and you don't think in the way that you should think, you don't see things in the way that you should see them. So this is why this is so important. You need to give a credit to yourself, you know, because there is something that you know, and there is something that particular specific person in your life is going to benefit from it. Almost like you need to kind of protect someone in your life who's so important to you, but maybe they didn't come out, maybe they didn't say it, and you will know that there's something is not quite right about that person. This person is important to you, and you are their hope, you're their inspiration, you're their bright light. This is gonna get back to you like a 100 big mamas. No, I'm not saying that this is going to get back to you. I'm not saying that you should do this because it's going to get back to you. No, baby, no. I'm just saying that in an additional bonus, there is going to be the reward, that you are going to have an important karmic reward later on, because that is so important for that person's life that is just going to be mind-blowing. And I think it's going to be like really, really, really obvious to you later on. Maybe not straight away, but later on it's going to be quite a lot obvious, because there are certain informations that are going to come out, and it's only going to confirm this to you. On another hand, my gorgeous Sagittarini, what else I was going to say is just you're also going to kind of like a pretty much so going to have like a something that's going to surprise you. There is going to be the moment, there is going to be a situation that is going to really blow your mind. Okay, so first of all, you're going to become aware of something, and very quickly you need to just go around that. You need to focus on it, because it's going to like kind of disturb you a little bit, but in the best possible way, because it's at least going to open your eyes. So this is something I need you to remember, but I also need you to I also need to remind you to basically kind of do something about it almost immediately. Don't leave it too long, because that vibration, that powerful vibration, will not stay there for so long, which means that you really need to kind of change the specific part of your life after that moment in time. So when you become aware of something really crazy and ludicrous and doesn't have anything to do with you, you just need to really pay attention to which specific part of your life do you need to pay attention to a bit more, in specifically when it comes to putting more energy towards it. This is something that is just going to start manifesting for you almost immediately, because you will find this energy super beneficial when it comes to speeding things in your life that you you should be focusing on. Because if you don't kind of focus on it right now this week, it's only going to prolong everything, and then later on in 6 or 7 months you're going to have another opportunity to deal with this karmically when it comes to a specific spiritual journey. So this is to do with a karmic knot, a spiritual knot. It's something to do with you responding to the situation in the best possible way by changing something about your past when it comes to your future planning, but only doing those things that make sense to you. Almost as if you're like kind of misled and kind of focused towards a certain path, and now you see that path like, ew, no baby, no, like type of thing. So you got your path, you don't got that path, all right? You know what I mean? So just remember this, my gorgeous Sagittarius. Just remember this, it's important, okay? And also on another hand, you are actually at around that time, a couple of days later, there is also going to be like a pretty much sort of situation that is going to surprise you so much, and something is going to unfold, something is going to appear in your life, something is going to become obvious, like a very surprising situation is going to happen when you least expect it. And this in itself is pretty much, so my lord, to do with your life so much, specifically, very important. So you see how things are going to unfold. The more you give credit to yourself in terms of like responding to people's situations in your life in your own unique way, more you're gonna get out of it. So this is what you're gonna get out of it, my gorgeous Sagittarius. This is why this is so important. So a couple of days later, there is going to be pretty much so like a very unexpected situation that is gonna surprise you. You may find yourself somewhere where you didn't plan. You may kind of like decide to go somewhere like just out of the blue. Just follow your feelings, follow your emotions, because you are gonna be somewhere where you're not normally are, or you're gonna maybe talk to someone who you don't normally talk, you know. But however, is something almost like there is the specific situation that is going to arise, and you will want to respond, and the way you're going to respond is going to surprise you. And this is where things are going to become very, very interesting, because with that supposed response, there is also going to be a huge, like a big mama conclusion, almost like a couple of days later again, you're going to find what you will just simply want more out of life. Okay, you will see what's illusion, what's not illusion. It's going to clear quite a lot, my lord. This is important. So you will want more out of life. And by the time you find yourself at the end of the week, you're going to find yourself on a spiritual quest. So this is very important, how you're going to really go about it when it comes to that spiritual quest, because pretty much so it's going to require from you to be kind of like a spiritual, stay true to yourself, change your path a little bit, like a redirection of the path slightly, okay, confirmation and realization. But then at the same time, you know, you will know that it's all about you need to kind of stay committed to the task at hand. You know, your task, what you're working on, what you're doing, it's important to stay committed to the task at hand, but also it's important to pay attention to the actual idea that you are going to have at the end of this week. The very last couple of days this week, I've mentioned this is going to bring an important idea, and that idea that you are going to have, it's pretty much so like kind of like going to make you feel very artistic. It's going to make you feel really good. It's like almost like going to clear so much of the actual emotional confusion, and the certain emotional confusion that you had over the last 5 months. It's just going to become like kind of like there's going to be very important answer that you're going to have, and this in itself is going to be even more beneficial when it comes to this particular situation, but also having a very kind of powerful beginning when it comes to like a very, very meaningful experience in your life that is going to make you super creative. So you will know how important this time is. Things are not gonna like completely change like almost immediately, but you will know one step at a time. Once you feel things from such a high angle, you know, it's almost impossible to deny yourself from doing certain things in life that make sense to you. And you know, like you don't want to wait much longer in order to, you know, walk through your own portal of life. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Capricorn, my gorgeous Capricornius. This reading is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. My gorgeous Capricornius, you know, I want to say something. You are really going to have a very nice surprise this week, and I'm so happy for you, because you've been waiting for something, you've been waiting for the certain change, and you've been waiting for something to inspire you so much. There is a very important information that you are going to have, and this this in itself, it's going to open your eyes, but it's more about you waiting for something to inspire you so much. And you will find it this week that the actual vibration is just like gonna really surprise you, because of course it's a bit of like a thick energy right now. It's very darkish, you know, the vibration is not really great, obviously, but then again, at the same time, you know, that just kind of affects you. It affected you like big time. I said this before, it affected your way of planning, it affected your way of thinking. So there is a lot that is actually going to happen this week, and it's going to be quite magical in a way, because when you find yourself like a kind of like a bathing, you know, like maybe in a negative vibe and negative energy and negative vibration. I'm not saying that you're the one who caused this, who created this. I'm saying that the devilish forces at the moment out there are doing this, and they're making a very impact on people in such a way where people are just kind of not really losing their minds, but they're just losing themselves. They're losing their way of thinking. Their way of planning is affected, you know. And this is why I'm saying that this is important, because it's just part of the picture, you know, that is just like kind of like a pretty much so that was affecting you for such a long time. So when we have such a negative vibration around us, not only we find ourselves being disorientated, slowed down, and not having inspiration, but also it affects our way of thinking, the way our emotions, you know, it affects our happiness in general, and then that affects our vibration. So of course, like, it affects every single part of our lives. But what I was going to say, my gorgeous Capricornians, it's about the fact that you've been kind of like a tempered with, like, this negative energy was around you for such a long time. Not just you, by the way, but you feel it in a very specific and very deep way, okay? So it takes a lot out. You understand a lot, but then just the same thing is like you understand so much, you know, you understand a lot, but that same energy can kind of affect you. It can drain you like there is no tomorrow. Like me, personally, being open to things, like finding out, like channeling so much, but then that can make you like a drain your energy really quickly, just the way life is. So the way the world is, the way the spirituality is, the way these dimensions we live at are, basically. So now what I was going to say, that you've been affected negatively so much for such a long time, for like about, I would say very strongly, it has been like 12 to 13 months, very strongly. You have been affected by the negative energy, and sometimes we are affected by the negative energy so much that we kind of get used to it. So my point is, by the time you get to the 6th, this week, in between the 6th and the 12th of December, my point is that basically the vibration and energy is going to surprise you, because you will not be able to tell where this is from. You will not be able to tell where this is coming from. Okay, and it's going to surprise you, because you're going to find yourself like pretty much being inspired. You're going to find yourself being optimistic, but because you've been like a negative, for such a negative vibration was around you for such a long time, you know, now this is going to be like amplified, like, oh my lord, like it's going to feel so good, it's going to feel brilliant, and this vibration is going to be absolutely sacred, purely because it's just going to be such a big flip-flop moment, big step from that to that. So now we are talking. So now this vibration and energy is something that you need to pay attention to, because it's going to increase your personal power. So when it comes to manifestation, like, go for it. This is a great week when it comes to manifestation for you. This is a great week for like the creativity, because I know that there is a very important part of your life that you will want to explore. There is a very, very important part of your life that you are going to find yourself exploring, baby, and that's so significant, because in itself, it's also going to become an absolutely mind-blowing, undeniable, super meaningful experience, and it's going to change your life forever. It's going to change you, the way you look at things, the way you see things, in such a way where you will know, baby, that from now on, you just need to keep on giving credit to yourself, and from now on, you must not block yourself from moving on with your life. You must not slow yourself down. You must not let other dark negative forces to actually affect your inspiration. The more you are inspired, the more you are strong, the more you're gonna create, the more you're gonna get out of life, but also you're gonna create this absolutely mind-blowing spiritual bubble around you that is gonna be almost impossible to burst. We are very powerful spiritual beings, and such a shame that some people just don't understand how powerful we are, purely because there is a lot that is blocked within us, like a third psychic eye. fine, for example, there's a bit of fluoride in the water, blah, blah, blah. It's affecting our third psychic eye. There is so much going on, and the people don't even sometimes understand, like, the third psychic eye. It's actually, my God, it's mind-blowing how powerful this is. But anyway, all this is about to be activated, my gorgeous Capricornians. So this is why I need you to make the most of it in your life, you see, when it comes to this week as well. So when it comes to, like, maybe planning, when it comes to thinking about the next step, expressing yourself, talking, trying to achieve something, very important conversation with someone you're going to have as well. Very, very important conversation. And the conversation that you're gonna have, it's pretty much going to make you aware of the certain negotiation, and that negotiation is something that you also need to remember to take one step at a time. It's not something that you can rush towards or anything like that, but you need to take one step at a time, because you're not ready just yet. You just need to go through certain aspects of your life until you spiritually mature. So there is a very kind of big part of your life that it's going to become a relevant aspect by that moment in time, which is going to help you and make you to see things from a slightly different level. So this is really important. On another hand, my gorgeous Capricornians, what else I was going to say is just basically very important news when it comes to your personal work, your personal success. And it's going to make you feel so good, because it's the part of your life that you have been working on, and now you will realize it's not about a great feeling that you're going to have. It's brilliant, but also on another hand, something is going to come to you, like what you need to do. The specific part of your life is going to become evident, what you need to pay attention to in order to kind of like walk towards an ultimate change. Okay, brilliant, because that is going to most certainly not only be the beginning of an ultimate change, but also it's gonna make you feel like you accomplished something really great in your life, and of course you are, but also it's gonna make you one step closer towards the greatest accomplishment as well. Very important when it comes to finances, when it comes to your life, when it comes to your future planning. This is all going to be very much so strongly connected. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Aquamarini, Aquarius. Sorry for those of you that don't know. My gorgeous Aquarius, this is the week in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. Ooh la la, you know, I like this. Very important information and news you're going to have within the first couple of days. You know, it's to do with your own accomplishment. Maybe you didn't give enough credit to yourself before. Maybe you were waiting for the certain, for the specific time. Maybe you just felt like a little bit of negative energy because a lot was going on in your life. So, and then you would just kind of bless your heart. You would probably think more about other people than you would think about yourself, like people in your life. It's just like you were doing what you are, and you're anything but selfish. You're so unselfish. So there were things that you have been doing. There was people that you helped to so much, and maybe you're aware of this, maybe you're not, but most certainly this is going to be the direct result of a few specific things. The energy that you have put towards the certain parts of your life when it comes to work, career, and things like that, but also at the same time an emotional reward, because not one, but there are a few people that you've actually helped so much. And I really hope that you're aware of who these people are, because sometimes we can help people, we can have an amazing, mind-blowing impact on people's lives, but we may not be aware of it. So however, this is all the direct result of your good karma, and also you finally reaching an important stage of your life which is about to inspire you. There is a lot of strange things going on at the moment, but we don't help ourselves, and you're not going to help yourselves by just being negative and just thinking too darkly, because you will have a very kind of a inspiring moment here, and it's all about your own personal inspiration. So the first couple of weeks, couple of days, my gorgeous Aquamarini, it's going to be mind-blowing. On one hand, it's the actual accomplishment through what you have been doing so far. Something very important is going to be highlighted to you. So it's an accomplishment, what you have been doing, what you have been focusing on, what you're trying to achieve. And also, if you didn't work in a while, you know, for example, this is all going to lead towards like a very specific part of your life that is going to be highlighted through your own accomplishment. So it doesn't matter whether you're working or whether you're not working, but it's all going to boil down towards the specific part of your life that made you feel good, that made you feel great, that made you feel so yay baby, and that made you feel like you accomplished something so significant. This is what I'm talking about. This is the big mama. This is something that you need to pay attention to, because it's also going to provide you with the crucial information. There is a certain information that is going to come up to you that you will have, and that certain information, it's going to clear so much of the emotional confusion that you had before, but it's also most importantly going to show you the way, by the way you're going to feel, by your feelings and by your emotions. You're not going to be able to ignore this, because the energy this week is going to be mind-blowing. Because as I said, my gorgeous aquamarine, you have been through so much like lately, and I mentioned this in my previous reading. Don't worry, I know exactly what is going on with every sign, but it's just that I'm saying that you have been through so much, like personally, like my God, aquamarine is just the energy, the way the energy is. You have been through so much personally over the last few years, you know, but and especially over the last couple of years, a lot was going on, not only personally, but around, you know, the energies are like really kind of like, they just really affected you like with negativity, which is nothing unusual, which is nothing abnormal. My point is that the energy this week in between the 6th and the 12th of December, it's about to start clearing, and in such a way where it's just because you've been around a certain energy, not just you, but lots of us, like all of us really, we've been around a certain energies for such a long time. So now by the time we step into this week, you know, the vibration you will feel, it's completely different. The energy is going to be completely different, and this is going to give you your own power. This is going to enhance your own power. So it's just going to feel absolutely perfect. You will not be able to tell where this is coming from, but at the same time, you know, you will have a few different bursts of energy throughout this week. Every single time when you feel energized, every single time when you feel re-energized, you know what, you may feel like you had like 5 coffees type of thing, you know, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Like in a good way. And especially after feeling the energy very heavy for such a while, for such a long time, this is going to feel such a huge massive flip-flop, you know, spiritual flip-flop in the best possible way. So this is why every single time when you feel like super energized, don't think, oh my God, I'm so energized. No baby, no. The balance is going to be just superb. At the same time, it's not only about how you feel like physically, it's about how you feel mentally, it's about how you feel spiritually. And that the balance is going to be just superb, which means that you're going to be super magnetic, which means that there is so much that is going to come to you every single time when you feel this vibration. Oh my God, I'm so re-energized and this and that. Just see where you go, see where your mind goes, see where you persistently want to go, see where you persistently want to be, see what you persistently want to do. This is in itself going to unlock so much in your life, you know, but it's also going to pinpoint towards the very specific part of your life that is kind of like not missing, but you should be kind of paying attention to. But the only way to pay attention to that specific part of your life, it's only if you give it credit to yourself. And on another hand, it's about the adjustment, you know, very important adjustment you will want to have. And this adjustment is going to become absolutely evident by the end of this week, you know. And this adjustment, it's also kind of just a little bit of adjustment in your life, just a little change of priority. It's to do with a certain plan for the future, and you will know what this is. But there's just certain changes that you will want to make. It's just how to get there. You know, you thought that you're going to take this path, but it's going to be slightly different path. And you know what this path is? You do what you want to do. You do what things that make sense to you. You go where you want to go, okay? You manifest what you want to manifest, okay? This is very important. I'm not saying that you're doing things that other people want you to do. I'm just saying that this is what is going to cause you to choose a different path. Not completely different, but it's just about where you want to get and what you want to do. there are things in between that you will want to kind of change. So this is something I need you to pay attention to, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good indeed, because you're very clever, and something very, very clever is going to come to you. And I'm touching this little kitty because cats are very intelligent, they're very clever, they're very smart. They're in two different worlds at the same time, just like you, my gorgeous aquamarine. And also, what else is going to happen, my gorgeous Aquarius, is basically, I know that you're going to find yourself very indecisive, very, very indecisive. Something is going to be on your mind, and it's not going to kind of like make sense to you whatsoever. And you also need to remember that, you know, oh God, on one hand, almost like if you're gonna be not tortured, but almost like somebody's gonna try to impose their own opinions on you so much, and I don't like this whatsoever. Somebody's going to try to impose their opinions on you so much that it's gonna just kind of like it's gonna try to kind of change your way of thinking, but it's not actually going to. This is going to bring you actually an indecisive moment. An indecisive moment, it's very important for you to understand that, you know, you will kind of have two options. Like, one option is like easy way out, and another option is like, you know, it's just going to be a little bit of like a little bit of hard work to do what you want to do, to get what you want to get. But do that. Rather hard work, slightly hard work, you know, rather hard work to get what you want to get than choosing the easy way out. I wouldn't choose an easy way out at the moment, because I don't want to sound like, oh God, you know, he's all dark again. I'm not dark at all. Your week is actually very promising in many different ways. And it's, when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to explaining, when it comes to talking, when it comes to expressing yourself, you are going to be a big mama. So you need to make the most of it. This is what I need you to remember. So when it comes to the actual, your personal magnetism, it's going to be really strong. And I know that there is going to be very important conversation that you're going to have with someone as well. Very important conversation, and this in itself is to do with like a kind of like a conversation with someone that is going to open your eyes, and it's going to like kind of like help you out with a certain conclusion, and that conclusion is going to be brilliant because it's at the same time going to mark the beginning of a very important experience. Someone who is very close to you, very important to you, somebody who you really look up to, somebody who is very close to you, but somebody who is like a wonderful and magical in many different ways when it comes to their own spirituality, is going to have a very mind-blowing message for you. Okay? So somebody who is having a very powerful high level of their own spirituality is going to come through, going to come forward, and they're going to let you know something really important. And you need to know this message. You need to be aware of. Okay, and it's brilliant because at least it's going to clear out a lot of uncertainty that you've had, because it's going to provide you with information that you really need in order to kind of be a bit more analytical later on. This is all going to be part of it, you know, part of the really great knowledge that you're going to get through this person. So this is something I need you to know. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Pisces. So it's for you, my gorgeous Piscelini. So this is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. So this weekly horoscope for you, my gorgeous Piscelini, is in between the 6th and the 12th of December 2021. You know, you are really going to find yourself kind of questioning the specific situation within the first 3 days. You're really going to find yourselves questioning the specific situation. There is something that is just not going to make sense to you whatsoever. And you know, on one hand it's about like a very important heavy confirmation, but then on another hand it's only going to like kind of it's going to make you feel even strong. It's going to make a very important impact when it comes to you really changing the specific part of your life, when it comes to your future, what you want, where you are now, what you want to do, where you want to get, and what you need to do in order to where you want to get is going to change slightly. Not where you want to get later on, but the certain things in between that are slowly going to start changing. You see, you need to understand that they're going to be like a two paths ahead, my gorgeous Pisces. There are going to be two paths ahead, and they are going to be super evident by the end of this week. You go either this way or you go either that way. This way you do what you want to do. This way you walk knowing that things are going to take slightly longer and they're going to be more difficult, but it's the right path. Well, it should be. And this path is going to be way too easy, and it's just not going to make sense whatsoever, because there are the dark forces behind this one. Very dark forces. I do not like these dark forces. They're terrible. They're manipulating so much. So one path is going to be this, where the dark forces are. It doesn't make sense, but it's quick. And another path is going to be longer, where the water is going to be very wavy, very murky, very dark, okay? Very powerful currents. And you will know that it's going to take longer, it's going to be more difficult, but it's about knowing and doing the right thing in life. Sometimes this life is mental. You know, I don't want to sound dark, but sometimes this life is like there is so much going on out there, and this dark negative energy takes over. When that happens, we find ourselves disorientated. When we are disorientated, we can be very easily manipulated. Well, you need to remember that you are going to find yourself in a dark tunnel, okay? My gorgeous Pisces, you're going to find yourself in a dark tunnel, and just keep going and just remember that the darker the tunnel it is now, the bigger the light at the end is going to be. And you also need to remember that this life is a little bit strange sometimes, and all you need to do is just keep walking through the tunnel, and the more you walk through the tunnel, the quicker you're gonna get to the other side where the light is. And this is the moment when you're gonna realize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Slowly but surely. It's about your inspiration that is going to pick up. It's about your feelings, you know. It's about sudden burst of energy that you're going to have. And this is something that it's also going to affect you like a big mama. It's going to affect you like there is no tomorrow, because after the period and the stage that you have been through, you have been worrying, you felt a little bit low, you felt a little bit negative, your personal energy would be drained like really quickly. This is all direct results of everything that you have been through, and all the negativity that you have been affected by. Whether you understand this or not, whether you're aware of this or not, it doesn't really matter. But you have to understand that for once, I can't stress this enough, to stay true to yourself. If something doesn't make sense, just like move on from there. Okay, but on another hand, having said that, what else I was going to say, that purely because you had so much also to deal with, you know, lots of like kind of worries and negativity, like drained your energy like there is no tomorrow. So that's why specifically when we have such a powerful spiritual flip-flop moment, so the energy is going to clear off really nicely this week, and it's going to be very powerful when it comes to its vibration, and this is going to reflect on you like, oh my God. And it's like you will not be able to tell where this is coming from, but you are most certainly also going to feel like you had like a few coffees, you know. And that is also a very powerful sign for you to understand. Every single time when you have like this 2 or 3 times, you will have these bursts of energy. They're going to be 3 strong points, 3 specifically strong points, where you're going to have like a really like a burst of energy throughout this week, and you're going to be like, oh my God, it's like doing things, of course, at the same time. But when you have this energy, when you feel like that, this is a very powerful sign for you to remember to also see what is calling you. What are you drifting towards? What do you every time feel like when you feel so excited, baby? When you feel like, oh yeah, it's like you do things, you go there, you do that, but because you didn't feel this vibration for such a long time, this is going to be miraculous. A great feeling to achieve and to do things as much as you can. But purely when you have these 3 different points of like, oh my God, you're not going to be able to tell where this is energy energy is coming from, like energy, super energized, you know. Every time it's like a God's gift, it's like a blessing. You just need to remind yourself just to pay attention to where you're drifting towards naturally, because 3 important situations are going to bring you 3 important signs, 3 mind-blowing signs, 3 mind-blowing directions, 3 mind-blowing opportunities are going to come out of it later on. So this is something that I need you to pay attention to, because 3 great, huge, massive, enormous answers you're going to have, like what you need to do, where your next step needs to be, and also most importantly, you know, how to go about you know, your life in such a way to avoid this darkness here, this spiritual darkness, how to avoid and go around and go around. So this is indeed going to bring a really important plan to you. So, oh my God. On another hand, my gorgeous Piscelini, what else I was going to say? Do you know, oh la la, your energy is going to be like a very powerful when it comes to also being magnetic. So it's a pretty much so, you know, sexual energy. Like, I don't normally talk about this, but I'm seeing that here, that, you know, you're going to be able to project quite a lot on other people when it comes to your, I'm sorry, I don't talk about sexual energy, but, you know, when it comes to like that particular sensual sexual energy, you know, it's going to be very strong. You know, you will have a very strong power to attract those people in your life who you want to attract to. So this is something that you can take in so many different ways. If you like to meet someone, this is a great week to try to go outside or try to connect and reconnect with people if you possibly can, because it's a bit difficult at the moment, I know. But also at the same time, it's going to give you an additional power when it comes to achieving things, doing things, because you are going to have a very important conversation with someone who you're gonna impress. Like, oh my God, you're gonna impress someone so much. So you need to understand your vibration is gonna be really highlighted. So any problem solving, anything that you need to kind of talk to someone that you don't want to talk, you know, you're gonna do so great. But also to prove yourself, to prove your point, this is gonna be an absolutely mind-blowing week, and you need to make the most of it. Pay attention to which problems you have, what is slowing you down, but also what is or who is standing in between. Because if you need to talk to someone, there is going to be so much that you're going to gain out of it, you know, like seriously, there is so much that you're going to be able to gain out of it purely because your vibration is going to be really strong. So make the most of it. If you're looking for work, make the most of it. You may not get work this week, but this week is going to play a big mama role when it comes to you getting that work. So just remember me, okay? Or if you want to inspect a certain part of your life, just go for it, because I do see that these energies and vibrations are going to kind of drive you towards the certain part of your life that you actually want to explore with your own sense of bravery and with your own power of realizing what you achieved so far. This is only going to help you to elevate yourself really nicely, and that elevation is going to bring you towards a journey at the end of the week where you're going to find yourself on a spiritual quest, baby, where you will want more out of life. So most certainly this is the time when you need to give a credit to yourself, and this is the time when you're going to have that confirmation how important it is to only do those things in life that make sense to you. If something doesn't make sense, bye darling, and if something makes sense, just go for it. Just remember, it's about the future planning, but it's also about paying attention to how you're gonna go around in order to get where you want to get. My gorgeous Piscelini, this is more important than ever. And you know, like, I really like it because it's marking the end of the overburdened feeling. It's marking the end of stress, of negativity, of worry, of anger. And I'm not saying you are like constantly worrying and being angry. I'm just saying to you because you kind of like you were affected as well, like everybody else, by this like kind of darkish vibrations from the outside. So this is the time when things are finally gonna feel like you're moving on, and it's really gonna be pretty much going to show you and make you realize that the very kind of negative stage is slowly coming to an end. And this is going to like kind of start picking you up. It's going to pick you up, and it's just pretty much so to do with that overburdened feeling that you felt for such a long time. And for the first time, especially in the last 7 months, you will feel a very, very important progress. And also, let me tell you just one more thing, you know, it's about a very successful dealing. It's like if you need to kind of like have a dealing with someone If you need to kind of have a negotiation with someone, I would just go for it, go for it, go for it. Try to do it this week because it's most certainly going to be rather successful. The energy is perfect, so you will be doing the right thing, you will be saying the right thing, you will not even be thinking like too much. It will, so much will come out through your own subconscious mind, and I really like it. And also, on another hand, pay attention to what part of your life do you want to reorganize, you know. And at the time when you're thinking about what part of your life you want to reorganize, you know, when I said, you remember, it's in between where you want to get. There's certain things that you will want to change because it's going to be a slightly different way around, a rather long and kind of weird way to get where you want to get, and choosing the short and absolutely wrong way. So just remember this, you know. So when you find yourself like being reorganized, you know, like thinking about what you need to reorganize, you are also going to become you're going to have a very important message or information that is going to let you know and make you aware of the results of the certain efforts are nearly due, and that is just going to give you so much confidence at the right moment in time. It's going to inspire you, but also it's just going to be connected to the new beginning, and emotionally you're going to reconnect on a very, very high level. You know, you have been waiting for this, and this is coming, you know. Just remember to stay true to yourself, my gorgeous Piscelini, more now than ever. Okay, my gorgeous people, I love every single one of you. Of course I do. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous people. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you all. Bye.